York.
The gentleman from New York, Mr. Ackerman, is recognized for 3 minutes.
Thanks, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for yielding me the time, as well as for your tireless efforts in support of the legislation that we are considering today. There is no more imperative threat facing the world today than checking Iran's nuclear aspirations. Sometimes, in the midst of urgent debate over the right tactics to use to stop the mullah's mad march towards the bomb, we lose sight of the big strategic picture. By focusing on the particular costs of each sanction, the monstrous reality of a world in which Iran possesses nuclear weapons can slip into the background. This loss of perspective is a terrible mistake. Critics of H.R. 1400, both here and abroad, see only the costs and the irritants of American sanctions. Their concerns focus on economic liberty and their own bottom line, on their national sovereignty, but not their national security. Protests are heard regarding our insensitivity to the Iranian regime and the likelihood of sanctions hurting the Iranian people, unfortunately missing the point. In a vacuum, sanctions always seem harsh, unless you consider the non-peaceful alternative. To fully and fairly judge the proposals and the sanctions measures such as H.R. 1400, we have to consider what a future without it might look like. If you don't want to see the complete collapse of the nuclear non-proliferation regime and the rapid nuclearization of the entire Middle East, then you're for the bill. If you don't want to see Iranian proxies such as Hamas and Hezbollah taking over the Palestinian Authority and the government of Lebanon, then you're for the bill. If you don't want to see Iran accelerating its supply of arms and training to terrorists around the world, then you're for the bill. If you don't want the supply and price of oil to be set in Tehran, then you're for the bill. If you don't want to even imagine a nuclear device exploding somewhere, anywhere in the Middle East, then you're for the bill. And finally, if you do abhor war, if you really don't want to see military force used to stop Iran's nuclear program, if you hate the very idea of America attacking Iran's nuclear program, then you're for this bill. The official title is the Iran Counter-Proliferation Act. The proper title should be the Stop the Iranian Bomb by Every Peaceful Means Possible Act. This is the alternative. We are running out of time. Nuclear weapons in the hands of Iran's mullahs are not inevitable. But to prevent such an international security catastrophe, we need every tool at our disposal now, while there is still time. The longer we wait, the greater the danger and difficulty of the challenge we face. Now is the time to apply the absolute maximum diplomatic, political, and economic pressure that we can muster. H.R. 1400 will crank up the pressure and help us avoid having to choose between military action and an Iranian atomic bomb. I urge all members to support this bill.
Gentleman's time has expired. The gentleman